So
I love to watch a student chew. That's like,
I'm
just
not a student. Hi, welcome to Huntsman Heat. I'm Ethan. I'm a recruiter with the Huntsman School of Business. And today we have a very special guest, the Data Don, okay? The analytical avenger, okay? Huntsman bad boy, PPAP, Sharad Jones. Welcome, Sharad.
Nice to meet you.
Now, the concept of the show is quite simple. We hot wings and we ask each other really fun questions about the topic of the day. And Sharad loves hot and spicy food, so this is going to be a walk in the park for him.
Definitely don't.
He loves it. Okay, well, first and foremost, for those of our viewers that don't know you, would you mind just giving them a little bit of your background, where you grew up, how you got to this point in your career, so on and so forth?
Yeah, so Sharad Jones, PPAP also, you probably should define that acronym.
Yeah.
Professional Practice Assistant Professor. So I work in the Data Analytics department. I'm a professor there. A little bit of background on me. So originally born in Germany, grew up most of the time in Texas, did my undergrad in Houston at Rice University, studied physics there, but then kind of had life crisis moment, decided to pivot out of that space. I often say I tripped and fell into data science. I truly didn't know what I wanted to do, but ended up in data science. Wanted to take a step back after a couple of years, kind of seeing that startup lifestyle and, really just figure out what I wanted to do in the space of data, but also in general in life. And so that's where I decided to come back to grad school, came to Utah State University, did my PhD here in statistics, and then ended up staying on as a professor here. And throughout that time, my graduate studies, I also worked at a couple of different companies, government contractors, other startups. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Fantastic. Well, let's dive in. So today we're going to be eating hot sauce from a local company, Bear River Bottling. We're going to start with the most mild. And again, you've been saying all morning that you love hot and spicy food and that this is something you do often.
Definitely have never said that. But.
So let's take a bite. Mild, green, for those of you that would like to try it out for yourself.
I've regretted doing this whole week, so we'll see. That's not terrible. I'm with it.
It tastes great.
I'm with it.
Like this would go really well on a taco, I think.
It would roll really well on a taco.
So data analytics.
Yeah.
I feel like people throw the word around a lot, but I still feel like despite how common it is, like a lot of people still might not know entirely what it is.
Yeah.
So say I'm someone who's never heard of the topic. How would you go about describing it to somebody?
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy. I mean, data is oftentimes thought of as like spreadsheets of information and numbers on a page. But fundamentally, anything that we can measure, detect, sense is data. And so data analytics is the process of trying to understand patterns in that information. It's really all it is. So again, the images that I'm looking at right now, the sounds that I'm hearing, the, text on that, Aggie ice cream, like all of that is data, is information. And so all we're trying to do in data analytics and data science is understand something about that, right? Find some sort of pattern in there.
Okay. So it's all encompassing. It's all
Truly.
Around you.
Yeah.
You're just trying to hone in on what you're seeing.
Yeah.
So considering that, what's a misconception that you find often when you hear people talk about it or try to learn about it that, you come across?
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the biggest ones I see is that people think you have to be a math person, which first off, I have strong opinions on this statement of who is and who isn't a math person. I think we're all math people because it's literally just logic. But even still, data is really one of those spaces where we're not looking at this from a mathematical perspective. I never go in to a new problem and start to derive some equation. I'm truly just looking at this and seeing, intuitively speaking, what do I see in this pattern, right? What do I see in this information? So think about something like, I don't know, sales of hot sauce, right? If I looked at, a few numbers over time and I saw, actually hot sauce tends to spike. I see that there are more sales happening right around the end of June into early July. That's a pattern. I, as a human, could detect that. I could also use some analytics, right? Some actual algorithms to try to pull out that pattern automatically. But really all we're saying is that, around 4th of July, people buy hot sauce. Surprise. Wow. So that's really what we're getting at with data analytics is that you don't have to be a math person to think about this. You're really just, again, somebody who can identify and understand information. And so whatever that field might be that you have some sort of expertise in, you're doing data analysis in this, whether you realize it or not. Whatever job you go into, you're doing some sort of data analysis. It's just that there is now a title for that job explicitly, but truly, we're all data analysts in that sense.
All right, let's move up the totem pole.
Let's not.
Let's do, you eat hot sauce all the time, and you've been saying it all morning. So
Love
we're
this
going
bit.
to do, we're going to do Thai chili habanero, and it's not, I'm going to be honest, it's not that bad. And it tastes,
Are you sure that's like the next step up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do this for a living.
It's interesting that we pay you for that.
All right.
Okay, flavor is great on that.
Yeah.
I vibe with that one. It's got a kick at the end. I sense that. But I would buy that one.
I would buy the first two. I really like them so far.
Cool, that's already a little spicy. Okay.
So continuing on.
This is going to be a long day.
What?
This is going to be a long day.
No, quick. You do this all the time. So, wow. Yeah, a little bit of a kick. That's number 2.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm not taking that big of a bite again.
I'm eating all of them.
Yeah, no, that's a mistake.
All right.
Yeah.
So I would assume that many schools across the country are developing their own data analytics programs, and they're diving deeper into that world. But from your experience, I'm curious, what about our program differentiates itself from other programs that you've come across?
A lot of companies, like education companies and universities specifically, have decided to create data analytics or data science programs. And I don't say I fault them necessarily, but a lot of it has been just, let's repackage the classes we have right now. Let's take the statistics courses we offer, the computer science courses, and let's just bundle them together and call it a data analytics degree, a data science degree. I personally was not interested in coming back to be a professor at all. Like, to be completely frank, I was very much enjoying industry life, loved the work I was doing, loved the companies I worked for. The only reason I came back is because I felt our program was a little different. We were really trying to build it from the ground up and say, like, what are the things a student in the modern era needs to know to get a job in this space? And again, I say broadly, like a job in general in the world, because truly, I think every job in the very near future is going to have some core data analytics component of it. And so really, I think we're starting to do that and build something that is a bit different. One big piece of that is this Analytics Solution Center that we have. So this is effectively like an internal consulting organization where we find external companies and organizations and even some internal groups as well that we do projects with, and we employ and pay the students to work on these projects. Companies are really excited because they get to solve problems and get to see these awesome students. Students are excited because they get to get paid and also get just an outstanding resume booster. So again, that's another thing that very, very different. I haven't seen that anywhere else, at least not in the way we're doing it. So that's what I'm really excited about.
It's a great answer. Okay. Sorry. It's kicking.
Yeah.
But
no, again, this is 2.
We're killing it.
I don't know why we're doing 5
at all. You kind of touched on this earlier, but I think it's important to visit it again. What type of person would you say is successful in the world of data analytics?
Yeah.
Or like, what type of person should go for this type of path?
I'll say the interesting part about it is, first off, I'll say obviously anybody and everybody, but to be more concrete in that, I think it's somebody who has knowledge in a specific area that they're really excited about and they just want to dive deeper. So I'll give myself as a personal example. Like, I went to Carvana not because I wanted to do data science. I love cars, and that was just a passion of mine. And this is a car company that's doing some interesting stuff. And so I was like, great, I want to work there. And then I realized that data was the medium for me to do that. I had the knowledge and the background in that domain to really know the questions to ask. And that's the critical piece of this, is like knowing what questions to ask in your domain such that you can find the analytics tools to help you solve that problem, help you to answer those questions. And so that's really what I'd say is, like, for anybody and everybody, whether you're looking to go into these programs now or doing something else down the line, I would say get expertise in a field that matters to you, that you're passionate about, and then use data as the vehicle to kind of solve problems in that space.
Let's keep moving up.
No, let's not. This is good.
You do it all the time. I'm new to this.
You're new to this.
You're not.
No, for sure. Yeah.
This is a carrot and garlic habanero hot sauce. All right, let's dive in.
Oh God, I hate this. I hate this for me. I'm starting small on this one because I know better than this. Again, as I said before, like I truly thought all my stupid days are behind me.
They're ahead of you, I'm afraid.
What's weird is that I don't want to speak too soon, but it almost feels less spicy than the one before.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like I think I would flop forward on this. Flavor's still better on the time.
I didn't hit you.
It's still coming. And that's what I'm worried about, that I spoke too soon. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
All right, let's keep going.
Yeah.
What type of careers?
That's awesome.
What type of careers can someone who studies data analytics expect to go into after they're done with their degree?
Yeah, so careers-wise, I mean, this is an interesting, like I tend to get way too philosophical on all these questions, so I apologize in advance, but right now there's some obvious jobs that are directly kind of, this is good. This is helpful. There's some careers that are like very clear in this space. So data science is kind of the key one. There's data analyst positions. Yep. Definition of these kind of vary, but also even not on the analytics side, there's the like database side of things as well too, where you are actually structuring the data, getting it into a structured format so that it's easier to use down. Yeah, this is throwing me off.
What? You do this all the time.
Exactly. So yeah, like there's some very like standard jobs, but I'll say again more broadly, I think this is going to be one of those things where every job is going to have an expectation in there. So I would just take, for example, accounting, right? Accounting historically has been its own field separate from analytics. Almost all of accounting now integrates some form of what we kind of in the modern era call analytics. Econ, finance, economics, finance, these are all numeric-based fields. They're collecting information, collecting data, and they need to analyze and understand it. And so that's where I would say, like, yeah, like any and all of these are relevant for this.
All right, we're going to move up the totem pole.
Oh, gosh.
I'm confident, and I do really well with spice. And as do you. You've been saying it all morning.
This is terrible.
This is Cajun Ghost Story, extra hot ghost pepper with garlic. Sharad, let's dig in.
This is certainly going to be the spiciest thing I've ever eaten, so. Oh.
More.
You're glutton for punishment, man. I'm just gonna look real sweaty on this video. This is gonna be good. Yeah, I feel like at this point I'm not getting much flavor. I'm just getting spice.
This is good. It's really good. Okay. So the world's full of problems.
That's a hot take.
There's so many problems in the world.
So many problems.
How do you see data analytics solving some of these problems? It's really tough, dude. It's like delayed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel confident when I take the bite. So the question is, how do I see data solving the world's problems?
No, just like
because the world's got problems.
What are some of the problems that you see in the world? And how do you see like data analytics solving some of those very specific problems? Sharad.
All right, so man, it's hard to think about the world's problems when you have problems of your own.
You got a lot of them?
Some immediate ones. So yeah, I see a lot of the world's problems being a question of kind of scale. How do we address issues at scale? One place that data really is coming in is helping us understand patterns at scale, right? I mean, at its core, even if we get into things like more specifically talking machine learning or artificial intelligence, as was recently dubbed a lot. That is just really looking for patterns in data, in information. So that is where it's going to help us address it. Like I'll be the first one to say, like, data is not going to solve the world's problems by any means. Data is a medium, it's a vehicle to help us understand information. And the hope is that with better information, with more information, we can start to address problems. But it's going to require humans with information about the situation. So that's where really that comes in. So,
No, for sure.
for sure.
I couldn't agree
You caught all
more.
that? You want to tell me that back, what I just said?
Yeah. I mean, there are problems and data can help fix them.
Exactly. Verbatim.
So, kind of on that note, you mentioned AI.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know a single person that's not familiar with like ChatGPT at the moment.
Yeah.
But like how do you see that kind of mixing in with the world of data analytics, and like what is kind of the future therein of data analytics?
Yeah, that's been the weird one to watch. I mean, every time I swallow, it gets worse.
It gets so much worse.
Yeah,
It's
you like get another hit of it. Oh man, I lost my train of thought there.
It's like is the room kind of starting to like shift a bit?
It's a sweaty room, the room feels sweaty. So yeah, no, AI. Yeah, I wish I had the answer of how this is going to change the world. I think what's going to happen is information is easier to access now. It's easier to probe deeper. I mean, again, like we talked about, people not being a math person. If you get into a class and you feel like you don't understand something, tools like ChatGPT are going to really help to say, like, hey, this is what I do know. This is where I'm at right now. This is what my instructor just asked me. How do I start to bridge that gap and get back up to speed? So that's where I imagine that this will play in that it'll help to individualize education. It'll help to individualize learning, but it'll be kind of up to us to determine the way in which to do that. So that's my quickest answer I can give on that.
No, that's great. We're gonna move up the totem pole to
No.
our final hot sauce. Our final hot sauce? It's an extra hot Hawaiian.
Okay, I'm here for it.
We can prep the milk if you like.
Yeah.
I'm certainly going to.
Yeah. Again, Aggie ice cream is coming here in a second.
I can't feel my face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot of milk.
And I'm lactose intolerant.
Same. This is good. This is an enjoyable experience we're going to have.
IBS gang, where you at? So kind of
Is that a hashtag you're throwing on this video?
Yeah. So kind of a tradition we have is to, dab it. I'm going to start over. I can't even think, dude. It's so hot.
Do you want me to give the intro to it?
No. Just be patient with me. I'm sorry. I do this all the time.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can tell.
So a tradition that we have is the last dab, the last and final sauce. You choose how much you want. And, you're strong. You're such a strong guy.
That's a weird thing
Everybody
to say.
says
yeah, for sure.
it. We all think it.
That's a weird thing to be talking about.
But you are.
Sick. I appreciate it. I always hope my professors are really strong.
I thought it all the time. There you go.
That's a lot. Oh, man. Here, I'm going to put it on a plate. I feel like that's going to be easier.
You do what you want.
Dip. Why does it glow?
I don't know.
Rough.
I don't even want to be here anymore.
These beautiful dino nuggets. Oh yeah, here.
Dab it.
Let's get a good dip here.
Let's get a good dab on there.
Yeah.
Hey, before we ask the final question, best of luck.
Thanks, man.
Let's hit it.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Again, I'm having to fight my instincts to just like immediately dip it again because the flavor is good on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So we've moved into the final sauce. Final questions for you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you being here, but I'd just like to know, if you could go back and give yourself any piece of advice. I mean, you've made great success for yourself.
This is great success getting to this point in life.
You've made it.
I've made it clearly.
This is making it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
If you could go back and talk to yourself, say 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, what advice would you give yourself that you think could have really benefited you back then? Let me just.
In 14.9 years, don't answer the email that says, "Hey, do you want to do this?"
I'm gonna ask it again. Just
okay.
Wait.
I was trying to get my answer. I don't know.
It's hot. You want some?
You want to take a second dip?
No, you can take a second dip.
I think I actually like this one kind of. So like.
Okay. So, again, you've had this entire career now leading up to this point, right? And I imagine you can relate to a lot of high school students in, what do I want to do next? And then when you get there, it's like, hey, what's the next thing? And, it's been some time since you were an undergrad yourself. If you could go back, if you could talk to yourself back then from your perspective now, what's some advice you'd give yourself to help you succeed?
Yeah, if we go 15 years back, it's like right in the middle of high school. I think at that time, I think I was excited and had a lot of ideas of what I do in college, but I think I maybe didn't have the confidence to try a bunch of different things. I had this feeling that I had to kind of have the whole plan figured out. It obviously ends up here. That's where the story ends. But I thought I'd have to have like this whole kind of clear plan of action. And I think the thing I would have told myself was like, you got a lot more time after school than you do while you're in school, right? Like I got a lot of life left to live. And so I think I didn't really have that sort of foresight at that time to just say like, it's going to be okay. Like whatever major you pick, whatever task you do, like as long as you work hard and, really try some things out and explore opportunities, like you're going to be fine. But again, who am I to say? I brought myself to this situation. So
I feel you. Well, I think that's a great place to leave off. I want to say thanks for taking time to sit down and go over this topic that you love so dearly and helping our viewers get to know it. I hope that they've learned something today. I know I certainly have, but let's just cheers to some milk.
Yeah.
Because holy cow. And we'll just leave you with that. See you next time on Huntsman Heat. We appreciate you viewing in and watching. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Never forget.